Exactly 1 year ago today, Bryan died. I lost my husband of 33 years, my soulmate, my best friend, the best person on earth. I will fight you. He was the best person on earth. And when you guys are watching this, I will be in Rodrigues. But I've recorded this a few days earlier while I'm still in Mauritius, because I wanted to just reflect on the past year and everything I've learned, everything I've gone through, and perhaps some of it can help some of you, even if you haven't faced a loss. If you have faced a loss, for sure, I see you. And even if you haven't, I think there's some important lessons that anybody can learn from someone who's lost everything and had to rebuild from scratch, because a lot of times everything is taken away from you, your income, your future, your home, everything. It's not just the person. And so yeah, you have to rebuild things, but then after a while you get to a point where, okay, I'm stable, nothing else is changing right now. I've managed to get through the worst of it. I'm still grieving, obviously, but I'm not about to be homeless or something, you know. And then for me, I'm nearly at that point, and then it struck me that this is nice, this life is nice. I could stay here for 5 years, nothing needs to change. I could just keep doing what I'm doing, and that kind of terrified me, because 5 years can go past in a blink of an eye, and you look back and you think, what did I do? And so, you know, I got to live. Bryan didn't. I should live. So I started to think, like, what do I actually want to do with my life? And that became a whole new problem. I realized I was asking myself a different question. I made a video a while ago on who am I, because that was the first thing, of who am I without we, because I knew who we were, but who am I? And then I realized that hadn't solved it all yet. I still needed to work out, what did I want? What did I want to do? And I spent a lot of time pondering, do I want the same things that we wanted? Do I enjoy those things because I enjoyed doing them with Bryan? Were these Bryan's goals, or were these Ricky's goals? I feel like whatever it is, you need to figure out what it is that you want to do, and you need to keep doing it, because you get to live. If you knew you only had a year to live, what would you do? And I think when I was thinking about my future, like, what do I want? It wasn't really about financial goals or things like that. It was like, what did I want my life to look like? Because you often know what your life is going to look like. You have these plans, not like a 30-year plan or a 5-year plan financially, that sort of thing, but what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my days to be filled with? Doing things like this? I mean, yeah, it's lovely. I'm sitting on a completely private beach in Mauritius. What's not to love? But yeah, think about what you want your ordinary days to look like, and aim for it. You don't have to have big steps, but at least think of what you're doing and make sure it's pointing in that direction. Like, I'm working at the moment full time. It's not something Bryan and I did. We'd established our freedom and we were traveling the world, and I do want to get back to that. So yeah, it's not about changing things overnight or anything. It's just making sure you're going to end up where you want to be. And this brought me to a few things that I had to learn. The sun is creeping up. One of the most important things I learned is things aren't forever. You don't have to make decisions as though they're going to be forever. Like, I'm not working at the moment, and that means I'm going to be working forever. It's difficult for me because my relationship with Bryan was for 33 years, which is like forever. So I tend to go into things from the point of, it's going to be a long-term thing. And it's something I need to learn, that not everything you decide has to be forever. It's actually okay to do something for just now. Follow the path and see where it leads, as long as it's heading in the right direction. So another thing I've learned is that you're not going to grow unless you get outside of your comfort zone. And I'm bad at this. I can find a million excuses not to do something. Be gentle on yourself. You've been working hard. You're getting over loss, you know. Take it easy. But you're not going to meet new people. You're not going to learn new things unless you get over those hurdles and go out and do them. For me, it's the first kilometre. I need to get to the bus stop. Once I'm at the bus stop, I'm having a fun time. I'm doing new things, but I can find, like I said, so many excuses to not get out the front door, and I think it applies to a lot of people. Oh, I don't really want to do this. Oh, I don't want to come and visit you. You can always find excuses, but you need to sometimes push yourself out of that comfort zone and go do it. Get through that first kilometre, and this is the only way you're going to grow. I've also realised that we are much stronger, wow, English, than we give ourselves credit for. We can do a lot more than we think we can. When you're pushed, you'll be amazed how much you can do. Yes, when things have happened, the advice is always be gentle on yourself, be kind to yourself, to a certain extent, but also I'm here to say, don't. Push yourself. See what you're capable of doing, because it'll probably surprise you, and you can do a lot. Sometimes it's important to just believe in yourself. It's a big storm in a helicopter. So yeah, instead of saying, oh, just be kind to yourself, give yourself a pep talk and say, actually you can do this, and you should probably do this, because you're a strong person. And you know what? Bryan didn't get to live the rest of his life, but you get to live the rest of yours, and it wouldn't be fair to not at least try and make the best of it. So even if it's just something small, go and do it, and pat yourself on the back and acknowledge that you did it. Now I get to one of the biggest things that have changed for me over the last year, and that is I'm no longer grieving the life that Bryan didn't get to live. I used to feel so sad about that, because there would have been so many things that he could have done, and it's not really about that. It's the life I don't get to live with Bryan. So I've put my grieving for Bryan's loss aside, and a lot of that has come from watching a lot of videos, studying a lot of things, and I've never really been a religious person, but I have recently looked up things from so many different sides, different religions, even from a science perspective, and they all seem to point to the fact that we're energy and nobody really knows, and there's a good possibility that there's a little bit of something more when you die. So I take comfort now in imagining that Bryan is out there exploring Mexican food, eating those crazy beers with the shrimp in them, whatever it is, in whatever capacity that he can, that he's having a fun time. And I think it's things that we don't really understand. And I've spoken to a lot of people over this year who've also lost loved ones, and all of them have something in common, that even if they're religious or not, they've had experiences. They've certainly had experiences, particularly when it's someone that was very, very close to you. There's small things that you can't quite explain, but you feel them quite strongly. It's like a voice that is right there that you turn around and you're like, it's really weird. But yes, this has changed in my life, and I'm going to take comfort from that. It is actually quite a huge comfort. So yeah, for me, it's my future that I am grieving, and it's also my responsibility to make sure that I live the best life possible. No one else is going to do that for me. But yeah, I really do miss Bryan. He was the most amazing person. People in Mauritius, they come to me, and in the comments and in the messages and in person, people come and greet me, and he touched so many people's lives, and that's really remarkable. Yeah, they say to me, I'm so sorry for your husband, he was such an amazing person, and he was. And it sometimes catches me completely off guard, because I'm in a shopping centre or something, and then I fight back to tears, because people don't want to see grief. they don't want to see that level of sadness. It's very deep sadness. Yeah, a lot of times, like, I'm on a bus or something and tears are streaming down my face, and people don't get to see that. So, but I know you guys are out there. I know all of you dealing with loss. You have the same things. You shrugging off tears, hoping no one sees it. And yeah, I see you. You never know what people are going through. So always just be kind. Let me get to why am I in Rodrigues, because I'm not in Rodrigues at the moment. This is still Mauritius. I'm recording this on our anniversary, but you're going to be watching this on the anniversary of Bryan's death, and I will be in Rodrigues. And the reason I'm going to Rodrigues for this day is twofold. Firstly, I knew it was going to be a tough day. I didn't want to spend it at home wondering what to do and trying to get by, you know. So I thought, let me just book a trip. And also, I wanted to do what we enjoyed doing and what I still love doing. I investigated Rodrigues, and I've got an itinerary plan that is nothing like anybody else's itinerary. Let me tell you. So I wanted to mark the new year, as it were, by doing something for my new life, getting out there and living life and starting it in a really good way. I love investigating small villages. I love to see what I would eat, to see what I would go discover. I love that sort of thing. So I'm going to continue doing that thing. And yes, I'm going to carry Bryan's memories with me, of course. There's still a lot to get through, obviously, a lot to get through. But I think no matter how old you are, I think it's important to realize that you're never too late. It's never too late to do something that you've always wanted to do. So yeah, think to yourself, what do I want? I'm not trying to build the life that Bryan and I wanted. I'm trying to find and build the life that I want. It just so happens they're remarkably similar, because we were like the same person. And so what would I like you to take away from all of this? If I were to describe the kind of life I would want to lead, without specific things and specific goals, I think I would want to be a nice person. I would want to try to have the best integrity that I could. I'd want to be able to look at the world with an innocence, with childlike wonder, like Bryan did. You were so natural at it. He trusted everybody. He loved every little detail of things. He saw things people didn't see. I think that's important to me. I think that's something I can learn from and I can try and grow. That just be amazed by things. Go wow, and mean it with your heart and soul. You know, I look at the pictures of me and the videos when we were traveling. I was so happy. I was genuinely happy, and I want to get back to that place. These are smiles that have a lot of pain behind them, and I want to get back to those real smiles, you know. But yeah, look forward to the small things in life, and be happy for all of those things. And yes, be kind to yourself, but also give yourself a bit of a kick in the pants and say, you know what, you can do better, you can do more, you can go out and achieve things, you can have the life that you should have, and you should have that life, because not everyone gets to live that life. And I think that's really important. And you don't have to know where you'll be in the next 5 years or 30 years or even in the next 1 year. You don't have to have it all sorted out. You just have to have a vague idea of what you want to be and what sort of things, what your day should look like and what kind of person you want to be, and then just make sure you're pointing in the right direction. And yeah, get over your first kilometer. Do something that scares you a little bit. Do something that enriches your life. Yeah, and if there's one main thing that the last year has taught me, it's that life is incredibly precious. If you get to live it, you should try and make it the best you possibly can. So anyway, let's go discover Rodrigues.